Need a hand?
You didn't literally bring me a hand, did you, Ulam?
Ulam furtively tucked one arm behind his back.
Would I be so crass, Miss Tress?
Yes, it's why I asked.
The ashen-skinned man, person, thing, grinned and stepped into the room. Behind him, I peeked in. But as Tress didn't have any marmosets, I wasn't interested at the moment.
You know about all of this, Doctor?
Tress waved to the small room with the basin and the spigot.
The captain said it was for experiments.
Yes, we've loved the experiment of how can I con everyone else into letting me take warm baths? They keep the water barrel out in the sun. While I doubt your washing will be toasty, you also won't be freezing any bits off.
He glanced at her.
If you do, be sure to save them for me.
So it is a bath.
Well, we did need a room where he could manipulate spores and sometimes activate them without posing too much danger to the crew. That required a ceramic basin that would hold water. He merely extrapolated. He was a cunning fellow, except that part at the end. Oh, what a waste of a corpse.
Captain says I'll need to take on some of Weave's duties if I'm gonna stay on the ship. Was there more than the work with the Zephyr spores?
You'll want to practice with rosite for sealing breaches in emergencies, and in growing verdant without breaking anything, as the vines can be emergency food. Yes, they are edible. I suppose anything is if you're optimistic enough.
I'm optimistic.
I looked in again.
I once ate an entire rock. Had to fight off its family first, though.
I wandered away. Tress mostly missed what I said, focused as she was on my ailments.
Do you know what his issue is, Doctor?
Hoyd has too many issues to count. I wouldn't trouble yourself with his situation. He's nearly as deft at untying knots as he is at creating them.
She nodded and eyed her bunk. When Ulam left, could she take another nap? Or would she be reprimanded for loafing?
Yes. Hoyd should have known better than to tangle with the Sorceress. In fact, he probably did know better. Frightening how infrequently he lets that influence what he actually decides to do.
The Sorceress?
Yes. What did you think happened to him? He puts on a brave front, pretending to be just an ordinary idiot. But I assure you that he's instead the extraordinary kind. Remarkable, really. I always say when trouble troubles you, keep a stiff's upper lip. Or several.
There's someone on this ship who knows the way to the Sorceress? Who has been there before? And escaped alive?
Technically, yes. But I haven't the faintest idea how Hoyd did it. I found him like this after I arrived on the planet in response to his letter.
On the planet? Like you're from the stars?
She'd heard stories of visitors from the stars, but had thought them fancies, even if there did seem to be more and more of them these days, talked of among sailors.
Oh, yes. Not from a star, really, but a planet that orbits one. Regardless, I doubt you'll be able to get anything useful out of Hoyd with that curse in place.
She put thoughts of such distant locations, and the cups they must have, out of her mind for now. There was someone here who could help her find Charlie. Hoyd could be her solution. She felt an enormous sense of relief, then a sudden strike of panic. If she had left the ship, she would never have known. She sat down with a dazed expression, realizing that I was in fact the key she needed. She formed a real plan at last, one she could maybe accomplish. Find out from me how to reach the Sorceress, and perhaps learn how to deal with her. Still a daunting prospect. But it was better than what she'd had before, and as she sat there, she considered that perhaps this crew, and the kindly people on it trapped in their own kind of prison, were exactly what she needed in order to save Charlie.